Okay, guys, I just finished up an interview that I think you guys are going to be super excited about. I'm interviewing Joe McCall, who's well known in the real estate space. He has several courses in real estate. He has a podcast called the Real Estate Investing Mastery Podcast. It's one of the biggest real estate podcasts in all of iTunes. And this guy is a genius when it comes to real estate. And he's actually been my business partner for the past 8 years in a business where we flip vacant land. Now, not only do we flip it, we actually are creating a whole rental portfolio where we offer owner financing and we're building rental income that people pay us monthly on vacant land every single month. So if this is something you're interested in, I thought, man, this would be cool to get Joe on here to talk about a course that he created that teaches people how to do this very thing. That's exactly what we talk about in this interview. So you guys, if you're interested in taking some of your high risk yield that you're earning inside the DeFi space and maybe de-risking that and channeling it off and carving it off and putting it over into something less risky, a little more safe, something like real estate, then maybe this is for you. So anyway, let's jump right into this interview with Joe McCall. How's it going, you guys? My name is Matt, and if you're new here, I want to welcome you to my channel. I would love it if you would hit subscribe. Would love to have you a part of the journey. Today, we have something I'm super excited about. I've got my great friend, Joe McCall, with us today. Hello, Joe. Yeah, so Joe and I have known each other a long time, and we go to the same church here in St. Louis. So we just have a great history, and we've actually been business partners in our land business, which is what we're going to talk about today. This is the thing I'm excited about, for about 7 or 8 years. So we've been doing it for quite a while. And this is a unique opportunity that I felt like you guys would want to know about. So we talk a lot about crypto. We talk a lot about crazy degen, high APR stuff with super high risk. Now, a lot of you, that's great. And we all love that. But we also are looking to diversify into something a little safer, a little more trusted, something like real estate, something like
off the chain,
something off chain. I was talking to Joe about what off chain is, right?
I just learned that phrase a few minutes ago.
A lot of what we deal with is all on chain investments. And this is something that if you're looking to sort of de-risk or take some risk off the table and invest into something a little more safe and stable, well, maybe this is for you. So I invited Joe to come on because Joe is super well known in the real estate space. He's been doing great things. He has a great podcast and he has written several books. He's got a bunch of different courses on real estate, and he just released a course on land that sort of walks you through the whole opportunity of how to start a land business. And that's what I want him to talk about today. So Joe, why don't you just introduce yourself? I did my best to introduce you, but let people know who you are. And then we'll jump right into talking about, if people are interested in investing in land, how do they, what does that even look like? What process, what does that process look like?
Well, thanks, Matt. I've always believed in the multiple streams of income,
yes.
Right? And I believe it's important to be diversified and to understand, not to have all your eggs in one basket, right?
Right.
And so when I'm a civil engineer by trade, I went to Iowa State University, got an engineering degree. So I've always been kind of analytical a little bit, but I've also really for a long time wanted to be my own boss, have my own business, make my own money, call my own shots.
Right.
When I was working at my 6-to-6 job, I was a slave to my boss. No matter how hard I worked, I got paid the same every single paycheck. Right. And if I was lucky, I got a 3% raise.
Right.
I might get an extra day of vacation or personal time a year. I always hated that, in June or July, halfway through the year, I've already used up, 2/3, 3/4 of my vacation days and personal days. And I get depressed, like, oh my gosh, I have 6 months left of the year and I only have 2 vacation days left.
Right.
And so I wanted to be my own boss. So, I, like a lot of people, I've read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book.
Yep.
Got interested in real estate. I had a really good friend in Kansas City at the time who was doing well with real estate. And I started buying a bunch of books. This was 2002. Started buying a bunch of books on eBay and started, learning about the business. And then 2009, I finally quit my job. I was making good money, but I was making more money flipping real estate part-time than I was in my full-time job. And I was flipping real estate, different creative strategies, but basically it's like flipping. I like to say it's like flipping paper. You get a property under contract. Like here's a postcard. These are one of the postcards we use for our land deals, by the way.
Yeah.
But you get a property, you get a contract to buy a property from the seller. and you can just take that contract and sell it to a buyer for 5-10 grand.
Right.
You're selling the rights to buy this land or this house to somebody else for a profit. That's called wholesaling. We call that wholesaling. And it's in any industry, every industry does that. There's a wholesaler for shoes.
Right.
Somebody that goes to China, buys a bunch of shoes at $10 and sells them for $50 to the store, and the store sells them for $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're kind of the middle guy. And that's how I started doing real estate when the market crashed in 08, 09, 2010. I lost a lot, but that's kind of really for me when I realized I need to make sure I have income coming in from different ways.
Yes.
And the market changes too. One of my favorite books was Who Moved the Cheese, or Who Moved My Cheese, or what.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I've definitely heard of it.
You can read it in a couple hours, and it's all about when the market shifts and demand changes.
Yeah.
The cheese is always moving. And they
Right.
say that like wealth doesn't just disappear, it transfers. And there's been a
Totally.
huge transfer now into the blockchain. So
Yes.
I've always been trying to look at where is the market heading, what's going. And the thing I love about real estate is it moves really slow,
It's true.
which can be very good because, like, unlike the stock market or any kind
Crypto.
of trading, crypto,
Yes.
it can change on a dime, and it can go rapidly up or down really, really quick.
Yeah.
With land, I mean, with real estate, you can see months in advance when there's a correction starting to come. Like just the Wall
Mhm.
Street Journal yesterday talks about the prices, the growth, or the decline of houses is the worst in 11 years or something like that.
Hmm.
But we've been seeing that for a long time now, or the last 12 months. So anyway, I like real estate, and that's kind of been the thing that I've been focusing on. Was doing houses. Now we're flipping vacant land. We're flipping raw dirt out in
Yes.
the middle of nowhere. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. Yeah. So you started out with houses, got your,
Yeah.
you cut your teeth with that, and then this new opportunity here with land. Well, we say it's a new opportunity. It's been around forever, but new to us and new to a lot of people. And that's what I wanted to bring you on today to talk about is, so let's say people are interested in how to invest in land. Yeah. What does that look like? Where do they even start? How would you answer that question?
Well, it's a good question. I think it's important to get some education, right? And you got to think. People always ask me, like, well, who would sell? Well, okay, let me explain a little bit more about what we do.
Yeah.
We send these little postcards.
Yeah.
It's hard to see with the light right now, but it's a little ugly postcard that just says, "Hey, do you own a 2.5 acre lot near such and such?
Uh-huh.
If you'd like to sell it, we'd like to maybe make an offer and buy it. And you can call or text our 24-hour recorded voicemail."
Yeah.
So we send 1,000 of these out. We get 20 to 30 calls. And out of those 30 calls, we might make 20 offers. And out of those 20 offers, we'll get 1 or 2 accepted. Maybe we'll make out of 30 offers, we'll get 1 or 2 accepted.
Right.
And we make our offers at about 25% of what we think it might be worth, which is crazy.
Right.
With houses, you're making offers at maybe 65, 70% of what it's worth. With land,
Yes.
we're making offers at 25% of what it's worth. And it's just a numbers game. So if we send out 30 offers, we know we're going to get 1 or 2 deals. And so then we get a property under contract, just simple numbers. Let's say it's worth 10 grand. Now we're looking for, depending on where we are, if we're in North Carolina, we're looking for, 3, 5, 10 acres or more.
Yeah.
And that's going to be land where somebody wants to go hunting, camping, ride their 4-wheelers, get off the grid,
Maybe
hide
build
from
a
the
pool.
government.
Yeah. Hide from the government.
Hide from the government. They try to come and give you the jab or take your guns. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of people out there. I'm not making fun of them because I'm one of them. Like I want a place where I can get off the grid and hide from the
Yeah.
government when the hits the fan, and I can, right? So, but like, who buys that land? People who maybe just want to
Yeah.
build a house someday, go camping. And there's a lot of people that buy land just because it's an indestructible asset. God's not making any more of it. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
You can't destroy it. You can't lose it. So it's like,
Yeah.
you could, so a lot of people who have a bunch of extra money will just put the money, buy land and just let it sit,
Right.
and let it appreciate or whatnot. You can
It's a bank
also,
account for them.
yeah, yeah. Well, you can also sell land on owner financing, which is
Right.
interesting. You can sell land because the land that we're doing, that's worth 10 to 50 grand. We're buying it at 25
Yep.
to 35 cents on the dollar, but you can sell it on owner financing worth payments over time. Just like somebody buys a car and they make payments for
Yeah.
5 years for the car. We do the same thing with vacant land. And guess what? Banks do not lend on these cheap lots. So when we're selling a little quarter acre lot in a
Yep.
subdivision in rural Florida, or when we're selling a 10-acre lot in the hills in Kern County, California, um, we're selling it sometimes with owner financing. And you can
Yeah.
get, let's use simple. I'm going to get my calculator out here
Sure.
and let me,
Yeah, this is what I
yeah,
wanted you guys to hear because, there are mainly two different avenues of why this business might interest you. Number one would be a cash producing a vehicle for you where you can flip vacant land. You can buy it for 25 cents on the dollar. Let's say you buy it for $6,000 and you can turn around and flip it and sell it for $21,000. Or like Joe's about to show you, you can do owner financing and you can build a rental portfolio with vacant land where people pay you every single month on dirt. So you're not
yeah,
fixing toilets, you're not dealing with termites and crazy
yeah,
things that people with houses have to deal with. It's
yeah.
just land and it works flawlessly. So go ahead,
You
Joe.
can get you can get better cash flow with vacant land than you can with houses.
Yeah.
Now, we're not saying houses are bad. There's a lot of advantages
Yeah.
to houses. You get long-term depreciation and more tax write-offs and stuff like that. Can I share this spreadsheet real quick,
Yeah.
Matt?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think this will be helpful for people to see. So, like, this is a typical deal. Maybe let's say it's 5 acres. It's worth maybe $25,000 in North Carolina. Okay, we're talking like rural, where somebody who lives in Charlotte might drive an hour, 2 hours away
Yeah.
to go build a cabin someday, go camping, take their four-wheelers and go riding, hunting, put an RV out there, or just park their money. And so let's say we buy it at 30 cents on the dollar, 30% of what it's worth. So then we're going to turn around and sell it with owner financing. Let's just be conservative. We're going to sell it. We're going to buy it for 6,100. We're going to
Uh-huh.
sell it for 20,500
Yep.
on owner financing. Now, we can also sell it for cash. When we sell it for cash, we might sell it for about 90% of what it's worth. We want to give it a discount. We want to be the cheapest property. When we
Mhm.
turn around and sell it, we want to be the cheapest one because we want to sell it fast.
Right.
So you
We're
can
not
make,
looking to hold it.
right, we can make quick nickels or slow dimes. We're not looking to hold it. So if we pay, let's say $1,500 in closing costs, if we were to just sell it, or what I was calling wholesale, we'll make about a $10,800 profit, which your ROI on that, I mean, we're buying it, where our total cost of purchase
Yeah.
is $7,600. We're selling it for $18,000 within 1 to 3 months.
Right.
So that's a really good ROI on your money with just dirt.
Yes.
And this is crazy because these were the kinds of numbers we were getting when we were wholesaling $200,000 houses.
Yeah.
And now with vacant land, we're making the same profit, but with much less cash at risk. Now you're
Yes.
also thinking, oh, wait a minute, who in their right mind would ever sell a vacant lot that's worth 20 grand for $6,000? Not everybody will,
Yeah.
but there
Most
are a
people
lot of people
won't.
that do. Most
Yeah.
people won't, but 1 out of 20, 1 out of 30 will, that we're sending offers to. But why? Because, and we target only people that have owned this land for 10 years or more. Because when we send these postcards, we can get these lists of these owners. They've owned it for 10 years or more, and they live outside of that county or
Yeah.
outside of that state. So maybe they inherited it from grandpa 20 years ago. They're tired of paying the taxes. They've never been to it. They've been to it in like once in 10 years. They're emotionally detached from it. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't care. I just want the cash. We want to get rid of it. It's just like the same reason I say this all the time. It's like the same reason why somebody would buy a $2,500 treadmill and then sell it in a garage sale a couple of years later for $25. They just want to get
Right.
rid of it. Nothing's wrong with it. It works. Every time they walk past it, it reminds them of how out of
Yeah.
shape and fat
Yeah.
they are. And their wife's mad at them for buying it in the first place. And all it does is collect laundry. And they're just like, get rid of it. That's why it's just like they just are done with it. So
Right.
we make ridiculous low offers, and we get 1 out of 20, 1 out of 30 accepted. Now, we can also turn it around and sell it with owner financing, just like you're selling a
Hmm.
car on financing. We're going to be the bank. We're going to be the bank that sells this out. So let's say we're buying this property for $6,100. Let's say we can sell it at a little premium too. Maybe we bump it up 5%. So we're going to sell it for 21,000, or we'll bump it up. We'll sell it for 22,000 with owner financing.
Yep.
Because when you're selling it with financing, you can charge a premium for that. So we usually do like 5 years. We'll charge anywhere from 9 to 10%. Now we're charging 9 or 10% on that higher price, right? So we'll usually
Right.
get 5 to 10% down. So let's say we get 10% down. We're gonna remember our cost to purchase is $7,600. We're gonna get $2,255, which means our cash out of pocket really is about $5,400. Okay. Our
Right.
payment, if you amortize this 9% over 5 years, our monthly payment that we are receiving is $421. So our cash, if you can think of this, and I'll show you our returns in a second here.
Hmm.
We put $5,400 into this deal. We're getting $420 a month from that.
Yeah.
So this profit, and if we sell it with owner financing, our total profit will be $21,382. If we sell it for quick cash, we make $10,800. If we sell it with owner financing, we'll make more just with payments over time. All right. So
Yep.
this is what's really attractive to me is the first year, the cash on cash return. That's in other words, the cash we put in the deal. This is what we get returned on that cash. It's almost 100%.
Yeah.
You can get those numbers in crypto, but you can't get those
Yeah.
numbers in real estate anywhere.
You can get them in crypto with a certain amount of risk level. You could
Yeah.
also lose that at the
Yeah.
same token. So
So the reason why I love land is the risk is a lot less, I think. Now, there's
well,
risk in everything,
yeah.
but
But by
it's
you buying it at 25 cents on the dollar, like I'll just say this, in the 8 years that we've been in the land business, doing flipping land, we've never lost money on a deal
no,
because you buy it right. I think the very
no.
worst we ever did, and this only happened, it only was this close on one deal. I think we bought something for $11,000 and sold it for like 12,500. That was like the worst we ever did.
And we offered too much.
We offered too much. We didn't buy it at the right
Right.
price.
So worst case, you break even. But also you don't have any you don't have a mortgage on this stuff, right? So it's not like you
Yeah.
well, I mean, worst case, you just stop paying the taxes, and 5 years later, the state government finally takes it back.
Yeah.
But like your ROI, your cash on cash return is almost 100%. Your total ROI on your money is 347% in 5 years. And how long does it take to get your money back? 0.84 years, which if you know when you're doing real estate, I think in terms of getting a mortgage, getting a rental property and renting it for 20, 30 years, your first year cash on cash return on that, you're doing really, really good if you can get 10% cash on cash return.
Yeah.
But with
Wow.
land, you're getting 95,
Yeah.
80, 90% cash on cash return, right? All right. So let me go back a little bit more.
Interesting.
Let's say your goal is to make 120 grand a year in passive income from these notes. So you're getting $421 a month from this. How
Mhm.
quickly, if you're doing just one of these a month, and you should be able to do 2 a month, right?
Yeah.
If you just did one a month, well, you would need 23.7 properties to get to
Okay.
10 grand a month of what we were just showing there. If
Okay.
you just did one a month, you'd get there in less than 2 years. In less than 2 years, you would be making $10,000 a month in passive income from notes
Yeah.
that you create with real estate. Now, if you did 2 a month, you'd get there in less than a year. If you did 3 a month, you'd get there in 8 months. So
Yeah.
the numbers are staggering.
Yeah. The numbers are really impressive. And like I said, a lot of you guys, we make some really great returns in crypto, and that's awesome. But this is a way to step aside and diversify, maybe even shave off some of those profits from the high risk returns and funnel them off into some very low risk investments, like what we're talking about here with land. Now you have both sides of that working
Yeah.
for you. You're still producing these high risk, high reward returns. And now you've got this other side working for you, and you're building this big land portfolio. And one thing that Joe didn't talk about, but the way that it's structured and the way that we have these contracts structured, if they stop paying on the land for any reason, we take the land back from them, no questions asked. It's all in the contracts that they sign, and then we can resell that land again.
Yeah,
So
we don't
if
have to go through foreclosure process. We don't have
yeah,
to go clean out the house and repair it and fix it all up
yeah,
again, right? Which costs thousands and thousands of dollars. We just
so
take it back and find a new buyer for it.
yeah, so if we collected 5 grand on this on a particular property and they just stop paying or they disappear, well, we take it back. And in most cases, that would make us free and clear on the property anyway. Like that may make us already
Yeah.
ROI, and then we turn around and sell it. And we may sell it for cash, like a cash flip, or may sell it on owner financing again. So
We've also almost sold a property with a Bitcoin, didn't we?
yeah, we almost did. Yeah. So we're still trying to figure out actually if any of you guys know of a good resource for selling real estate with crypto. I know there's a lot of very interesting projects right now that are tokenizing like real world assets on and bringing them on chain, like tokenizing real estate
Which
or
is
using
exciting.
fractionalized
That's
real
so
estate.
cool.
Yeah. So like you can have part ownership. But yeah, if you guys know of a way to actually transact real estate in crypto, let me know. Maybe put it in the comment section or something like that. Uh, I talked to a title company. They didn't give me a very good answer. So I know there's got to be a way to do it. I know people do it. But yeah, it ended up not working out that way, but we almost were able to
Well,
sell.
Bitcoin started going up like
Right.
quite
We made a
substantially.
deal for one
Yeah.
Bitcoin when the price was 27,000. And then, a few weeks later, it was like 30,000. And
Yeah.
yeah,
The guy said, well, wait a minute, time out here.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I would take Bitcoin for a piece of land.
yeah,
Now, how it works, I don't know, but you could figure that out. It's becoming more and more common, especially in markets like California, Arizona. That's it is happening.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. It's happening for sure.
I here's the thing. I like something that I can touch and look
Yeah,
at and hire a realtor to go sell for me. We do this virtually. We never go look at the land. We never do anything to the
yeah.
land either, right? We don't go and rezone it or subdivide it or
Or put
develop it.
utilities on it or yeah,
We don't do anything like that. We buy like we'll do little quarter acre lots in areas of Florida, maybe where somebody wants to maybe eventually build a home. There's a hot market right now. This is so cool too, because with the internet, you can do all of this virtually from a laptop from
yep,
anywhere in the world. I'm sure
yeah,
there's somebody listening to this who is hiding from the feds somewhere in the Bahamas, maybe, right? I don't know, maybe not. But like you can do this from anywhere in the world.
yeah,
You can buy and sell and flip vacant land. So like you don't have to go look at it. You can hire realtors to sell it for you. You can contact these owners, these vacant landowners,
mhm,
and send them a letter or send them a postcard. Now, we're starting to do now where we hire virtual assistants in the Philippines to call vacant landowners. We
yeah,
can go in a county, we can pull a list of 10,000 people that own vacant land over 10 years who don't live in that county, and we can get their phone numbers and we can just start calling them. Hey, do you own this land? Do you want to sell it? Cool. Can we send you an offer? Great. We'll send you an offer. Can I get your email address? We send them an offer. We follow up. And it's a great, simple business, and not a lot
yeah,
of people know about it.
that's
Not a lot of
true.
people know about it. There's a lot of competition with houses, right? People watch the house flipping shows, where they rehab a
Yeah,
house and they fix it and flip it. They make it sound so easy. Well, that tricks a lot of people. A lot of people out there trying to do houses, and they're getting frustrated
yeah,
with competition. They're getting outbid. These houses are selling for more than they're worth within days. Even though the housing market has slowed down, it's still in a lot of areas a hot market. The
yeah,
supply is so low.
yep,
But with vacant land, as crazy as the hedge funds aren't going out to get these vacant land lots. There's not a lot of competition out there doing this, and there's still a high demand. And I would say even as the economy gets tougher,
yeah,
the demand gets higher for vacant land. People want more security. They don't trust the banks. They don't trust
right.
the stock market. They want to
The
put their
government.
money somewhere in dirt and with land. And
Yeah.
they want a place where they can just escape if they needed to, or just vacation.
Right. Yeah, maybe you wanna learn how to do this so you could buy land for yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe that so you could bug out. Maybe that's what you wanna do.
I've
But at
thought
least you
about, I got the domain, patriotland.com,
yeah.
and, because we teach people how to do this stuff too, and I thought, "Man, it would be cool to teach people in the survivor community,
Oh, yeah.
survivalists and preppers, how to find land. Because we buy land. Here's the cool thing, Matt, we're turning down deals that we can buy at 50 cents on the dollar.
That's true.
Like, what
Yeah,
if you were just looking for a piece of land for yourself?
right.
50 cents on the dollar is a great, fantastic deal. You could do what we teach for investment purposes for yourself, and buy
Yeah,
land for really, really cheap.
right. Yeah, okay, so Joe, a lot of people, that are in the crypto space and they're in the passive side of crypto in the DeFi space, they're used to literally investing in something. The protocol kinda does the heavy lifting. Maybe we click a few buttons and we
Yeah.
make a passive income. So maybe they don't wanna do a bunch of work. Like, this sounds like it might take a lot of work. Like, how would you speak to someone like that? Like, what could they do? What would be an option for them?
Get your kids to do it, which is
Yeah,
what I did. I got 4 kids, my 2 teenagers, boys. For a period of time, I was having them do a lot of the work.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well
we'd get lists. You can do this all online.
mhm,
We get a list, download a list of 1,000 people who own vacant land, click a few buttons, send them these postcards. These postcards cost about 42 cents. And it says on there, call or text our 24-hour recorded voicemail. My sons then would listen to the voicemails and get the texts, and there's a reference number on this postcard.
mhm,
And so the voicemail says, "What is the reference number on the postcard you got?" And they'll tell us, and then we'll get online and we'll look at that property. We'll look at what similar properties are selling for. We'll look at, all right, well, we can sell this for about 10 grand, we think. So my sons did this, and then we would send them an offer
yeah,
for $2,500. It's worth 10 grand. We'll send them an offer for $2,500, and we still haven't talked to them yet. And once they get that offer,
yeah,
if they're interested in selling it, then they call us back, and that's when we talk to them for the first time. Or they may say, "Hey, I can't take 2,500, but would you buy it for $3,000 or
mhm,
3,500?" Or we give ourselves 3 months to close if they accept our offer.
mhm,
Unlike houses, with houses you typically get 30 days. With vacant land, we give ourselves 3 months. So they may say, "Hey, can we do 2 months instead of three, or whatever?" So we talk to them about it.
yeah,
Then, if it looks like a good deal, we'll hire a realtor to sell it for us. And we don't close on it until we know we can sell it and we have a good buyer.
right,
So it's pretty hands off in
yeah,
terms of, like, we maybe talk to the sellers a little bit after they get our offer. Um,
yeah,
and then we talk to the realtors.
and also, you can use virtual assistants to do a lot of these tasks that you don't wanna do yourself, and Joe has, I think, a whole training on how to hire virtual assistants and how to coach them and all that different stuff.
Yeah, VAs are amazing. I've got 6 of them, right? Five of them right now.
Yeah,
They're amazing. They do the data entry work. They're very hardworking. They're very diligent. They're very smart. They're
yeah.
college educated. They live in the Philippines, but
I'm always blown away with how great they
yeah,
are in
we
our
pay them
system.
between $5 to $7 an hour, full-time VAs. And there's companies that you can hire to, they'll give you VAs, but we pay them really well. They will do 90% of the work
Yeah,
for us.
yeah,
And we have them watch, we have them
yeah.
learn the tools that we use. They go out and do it. And some people are wondering, like, well, what if the VA with a virtual assistant, aren't they going to learn how to do this and then just do it themselves? I've
That's
never ever had a
yeah,
VA do that. um
right.
their mentality, not they're not all the same, but for the most part, I'm generalizing here, most of these Filipino VAs that we hire are not entrepreneurial. They want the stability of working for
Right,
somebody.
right.
And they're great. They have great English. They make the phone calls for us sometimes. They will do the research for us. They'll do the data entry. They'll update the websites for us. They will do a lot of that type of legwork. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, you can outsource, you know, 85, 90% of it if you really wanted to.
If you wanted to, yeah. If you can make it like as passive as you want, basically. And
Yeah.
I'll say Joe, I think, is kind of like a systems genius. Like you're good at creating systems for things. So like you look at a process, I think maybe that's your engineering background.
Yeah.
You look at a process and you're like, how can I make this a streamlined system that anybody can plug into, like i.e. the VAs or whatever it is, someone on my team, and handle this part and this part and this part, and how this connects to this automatically. So that's a lot of what you teach inside the land course as well. So, I know like getting started, something like this, especially when you're used to investing in something where it doesn't take hardly any work, this could be a little daunting. Maybe this might feel a little, maybe it's too much kind of a thing. But again, you can take the systems that Joe teaches and you can implement them and make it something that you're really not doing a whole lot. Like you've got VAs helping you, you've got
Yeah.
realtors helping you,
And
and
you got your kids.
you got your
This
kids.
is the
Like you're
cool
teaching
thing.
your kids
Like
invaluable lessons.
I have 4 kids. My oldest is 19. He wants to be a chiropractor. Okay, fine, great. I can get free adjustments, right? My other son is trying to figure out what he wants to do,
Mhm.
but he's going to go to college for a little bit, and then he wants to have a land business. All his friends want to work for him. He shows them the money we're making. He's like,
That's cool.
but then my daughters are 15 and 12 right now, right? So, but like this is a great business to do with your kids if you have them,
Mhm.
because you don't have to talk to people, you don't have to go look at these houses. Uh,
Yes.
there's nothing to look at. It's like you could do 99% of it behind a computer, and it just so it's a very hands-off business, especially when you compare it to houses.
Yeah.
And so like if you've got some kids, have them go through the program. Since I've been talking about my kids on my own podcast and stuff, I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, man, I had my kid go through your course and we just did a deal.
That's
Uh,
cool.
it's like, I don't know if you know Rob Swanson. He's the guy who owns Freedom
Yeah.
Soft,
Yeah.
right? His son and daughter were working together. They just did a deal. They're all in for about 16 grand, and they sold it for 35 grand. What is
That's
that?
awesome. That's
19
so
or
cool.
20,000
Like,
bucks?
what a lesson to teach your kids, like,
Yeah.
about the potential that there is and, kind of break free their mindset of what the system or the world ingrains in there,
Yeah.
like trading your hours for dollars and, like, locking yourself into this trading that
Yeah.
kind of system instead of saying, like, really in this business or in any sales business, there's no limit, there's no ceiling, there's nothing that's stopping you from making X amount of dollars. The
Yeah.
sky's the limit.
I love what you guys do too. I wish I knew more about it. It's just so you all know, Matt does what he teaches and teaches what he does. When we're hanging out, he's just talking to me about this stuff that he's doing, and it's blowing me away. It's amazing. So I love the opportunity that is out there right now. And it's important that
Yeah.
we take advantage of the situation that we're in right now, and in a good way, right?
Mhm.
Like the inflation is going up, interest rates are going up. There's so much uncertainty and fear in the market right now.
Right.
And the worst thing that we should do as investors, whether it's through crypto or in real estate, like the worst thing we could do right now is panic, take our foot off the gas,
Right.
and shelter and hide, right? Like it's important now to be aggressive
That's right.
and to work even harder to find financial independence. If you think, and I'm not preaching to the choir here, but if you think that the government's going to take care of you, if
Right.
you think Social Security is going to be around in 20, 30 years, then no, man. I want to be more of. I say this often. I'll wrap it up with this. We're either producers or consumers,
Yep.
right? And I tell this to my kids all the time. Are you going to be a consumer or a producer when you're an adult? And of course, they
Yeah.
want to be a producer. So let's start thinking about that. Let's not be. Another way to phrase it is you're either going to be the driven or the drifters,
Right.
right? And what do you want to be? Do you want to be the driven or the drifters? There's another one. We either. Oh, I just said this the other day on my Facebook. I forget what it was, but anyway, it'll come to me later. Like, well, let's make the decision today. I'm going to be a producer.
Right.
I'm going
And
to create.
this is
I'm
the
going to
time
create wealth. Go ahead.
to be aggressive, to create wealth. And like you said earlier, it's not like money, even a depression, like money's not leaving planet Earth. It's just transferring to someone else or to some other entity. my belief and my stance is it might as well flow to me.
Yeah,
Okay. Why not? So
that's
be the
good.
one to step into that and produce. And I think to your point, Joe, the world is training us to be consumers. Think about the mindless scrolling on Instagram and Facebook. It's just consuming, 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 looking at how great other people's lives are.
Yeah.
And I just have to like totally tune out from that. I tried to totally disconnect and try to be that producer. But I think that advice, like be aggressive, like lean into it instead of it being in a shielded position of like being in fear. Like, what if you had a shield in one hand, but you have a sword in the other hand? Like you're
Mm,
taking ground. I heard this said that life is a game of territory. And like you need to be taking territory. You need to be taking ground and every day, because if you're not, you're actually losing ground. So
that's so good.
yeah, so I think all this totally applies in this sort of macro environment that we're in real estate and everything that's happening around the world. A lot of people are shrinking back. A lot of people are getting in this curling up in a ball, like defending themselves. And then there are other people that are totally capitalizing on everybody's fear. And I know a lot of people that are watching this, you guys already know that, but just to reiterate it based on what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's so good.
Yeah. I think this has been great. Yeah. I'm
I
glad. Yeah, go ahead.
um I'm looking for that quote. Oh, I'm gonna find it as soon as we're done here. All right, never
Yeah.
mind. Never mind. Never mind.
If you
Shoot.
find it, yeah, maybe I'll put it in the
I'll I'll
link
I'll,
in the
I'll
description or
text it
something.
to you when I
Yeah,
get it.
text it to
Okay.
me. But anyway, yeah, great to have you on. I just felt like this would be a cool opportunity for all of us that are kind of investing in investments where we're holding not holding our breath, but like, we're in this high risk stuff, which is awesome. There's so much money to be made. And I think, like you said, there's a huge transfer of wealth that's happened and is about to happen from like fiat currency into digital currencies, into
Yeah.
crypto. And I just feel like maybe this is an interesting idea for some people watching this to branch out. And what I'd like to do is take like I said before, take some of this revenue that I'm producing from these high risk, high return projects and platforms, funnel that off into de-risk it and put into something lower risk, maybe something like investing in real estate or land, maybe into metals, things like that. So this is just one thing, one opportunity that's out there, something that we've been doing. It's a proven concept. I'm not just talking about something that I thought might be a cool idea. Me and Joe have been doing this for 8 years. And just to give you an example before
Yeah.
we end this, just of some deals that we've done. We currently are in the process of closing 2 deals that we picked up for $6,000 each, and then we turned around and we actually assigned them. We didn't even buy them to sell them each for $31,000 each. So that's an interesting
Yeah.
kind of thing that's possible
And
in
by the
this
way,
space.
did we use our own money to buy those?
No. So the way that this one worked out is we were able to assign the contracts to an end buyer, and we're just
Yeah.
the middleman. So in this case, we're the wholesalers. Now that doesn't
Okay.
always happen with land, but that's cool. And then on the note side of things, we just picked up a property in Florida for $4,100, and then we turned around and sold it on owner financing for $14,750, and we are collecting $3,300 down payment. So we're almost made whole on the down. The reason that happened that way
That's so
is
crazy.
because I wanted a bigger down payment because I actually wanted to sell that lot for cash, but this guy was so insistent. He wanted this lot, but he wanted owner financing. He just basically kept pestering me until I said yes. So I said, if you can do this bigger down payment, because I wanted to get us as close to whole as possible on that down payment. So that's the kind of thing that you can expect. These deals happen all the time. Sometimes they're base hits, sometimes they're home runs. Sometimes it can be easy where somebody just calls right away and they say, "Hey, that lot you have, I want to buy it." And then other times, to be honest, it can take a little bit, and sometimes it takes a while to sell the land, but you always sell it. And I don't know, it's a cool business to be in. It, and if nothing else, it's great to have this knowledge. I think whether you're buying your own land or your own houses, it's just a cool skill to know.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So
So
okay,
good.
Joe. So what can people do if they want to find you, or if they want to find out about your course that you have on land? What do they need to do?
Well, we'll have a link in the description of this
Yep.
video, right? So we'll
Yep.
put a link in there. I have a podcast. If you want to check it out, you can listen to it. Just anywhere you listen to podcasts, do a search for Joe McCall, or it's called the Real Estate Investing Mastery Show.
It's an awesome
Um,
podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 11 years. 12 years now. 12
Yeah,
years. I have over 11,000 episodes. My goal is to be the longest
that's
running real
nuts.
estate podcast. And I got a long ways to go, but so I'm going to be around for a long, long time. That's
Yeah,
one of my big business
there
goals.
you go.
And there's only 3 other guys that have been doing it longer than me. But they're not slowing down anytime soon. I have a YouTube channel as well. Just go to just look YouTube for Joe McCall.
Yeah,
And I
I'll link
do,
that up as well in the
yeah,
description.
cool. I do probably 2-3 episodes a week. I love teaching. I love teaching this business. I love having an impact and influence on people's lives. I just interviewed a guy today. He was telling me, what was it? 7 or 8 years ago, I said something that had a radical impact on his life. And it was
Wow.
this: keep it small, keep it all. That was what I told him, right?
Huh.
Keep it all, keep it small, keep it all. And he was just giving me a ton of credit, which is super nice, flattering, but I was very humbled by it. Like, oh my gosh, I get to have that kind of
Yeah.
impact on people's lives. So that's why I love teaching this stuff. I love talking about it and teaching it and helping people do this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And it's another multiple stream of income, isn't it? Right.
Right.
We can make money doing deals. You can also make money teaching people how to do deals. And that's what we're
Yeah.
doing.
I think it's awesome. I think the heart behind why you do something is more important than what you do. And I think that's why I even started a YouTube channel is I wanted to share what I was doing because I want to help people. Right. And I could tell, obviously, I've known Joe for a very long time and that's his heart. He genuinely wants to help people. And this is just another thing that you can do, another stream of income that could really impact some people, their lives. So I just think
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Well,
So
yeah, man, that's cool. I'm glad to be on your show too. It's the first
yeah.
crypto show I've ever been on.
Yeah, maybe do you need a name like Crypto Joe or something like that? Like a new moniker? Not
Crypto.
yet, but soon, maybe soon. Anyway, well, awesome having you on, Joe. It's been awesome. Thank you, everyone who's been tuning in and watching this entire time. I would really love it if you guys got anything great out of this. Number one, if you could just leave a comment and tell me what you got. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down below. I'll be responding to you guys. I love hearing from you. And if you could like this video, that would show me that you guys love it. That I appreciate all the support. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I would love to have you guys along for the journey. I try to give as many great videos as I can each week, showing you guys what I'm doing, really hands-on in the crypto space and the DeFi passive investing space. So that wraps up this video. You guys are amazing. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.